the world is pulling you down. Everyone keeps messing your crown. Joy comes in the morning. Peace and happiness is calling. Hi guys, welcome to another installation of Generation Great. We are at episode what?
Number 20.
20.
Finally.
Yay. Why don't we have those things where you can press and then...
Don't we have?
We do.
We have. I
Okay.
think we do.
Please insert them. Yeah, thank you so much guys for watching the podcast. I think one of the things we've realized is that actually people do watch the podcast. So a lot of people have been coming to us and saying, no, guys, we really enjoy your conversations. A lot of people are just like, I don't like what you said. I don't like what you said on 1, 2, 3, and this is a platform for obviously engagements, right?
Yeah.
So we want you guys to engage with us as much as you can. So Generation Great is a platform for everyone.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much for watching the show or the podcast. We really do appreciate you, but you must just subscribe, guys, because the analytics.
Yeah. The analytics show that you guys are not subscribed, bruv.
Yeah. But anyway, we're good. It's all good, man.
It's all good. Good.
It's Women's Month,
Yeah.
so first episode for the month, and we just want to wish our wonderful women out there lovely Women's Month.
Yeah.
And we really do appreciate you. Do you have anything to say to them?
Yeah. We've been trying to get like female guests, especially for this month, but hopefully next episode something will materialize. Women supersede.
Yeah.
They supersede anything. They literally bring life into the world.
Yeah.
So
They are nurturers.
They're literally the backbone of society. So happy Women's Month. So
yeah, man. Speaking of Women's Month, we are going to speak on a very controversial topic. I find it very controversial, but also I want to put a disclaimer: the views contained on this podcast are not those of our employers. They're not those of us.
Our family members.
Our
whoever. Friends.
Yeah, it's just general information that we get from the public that we also feel we can actually talk about or also dissect, right? Also, with that being said, we also don't incite any violence. We don't incite any hate speech or any of those things. I want to put it out there. Like I said, it's a Women's Month, and we want to discuss a topic that relates to the Miss SA Saga. Yeah. Do you want to introduce the topic?
Can you introduce it?
Yeah. So basically, the topic for today is what's her name? Chidimma.
Yeah, Chidimma.
Yeah. Basically, we're just gonna touch on immigration, citizenship, as well as xenophobia, because we feel like the topic centers around those issues. It's issues that we've sort of let as society to brew, because I feel like this uproar was not just random.
There are a lot of underlying issues.
Correct.
Yeah, that manifested itself in how South Africans reacted to her being, so she was not the problem, but the underlying issues
exactly
manifested as her, being sort of,
it got really heated.
It got really heated.
I think as soon as I saw like ministers getting involved, I was like, insane. Okay.
But South Africans are hilarious. Now they're saying she must participate in Nigeria and bring it back to South Africa.
Bring it back home. I'm like, when I saw the comments, like, bring it back home, again.
These guys.
Someone wrote in clauses like, "Ow, Umakazi wethu, that's our daughter. Bring it back home. I'm like, we are so unserious. We are not serious.
But they were livid when she was participating in Mrs. SA.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
look, my opinion on the issue is this is not a social debate. Like like you said, there were underlying issues that we needed to address as a country, which were not addressed properly. One might be lack of stringent approach from the government. I do feel like it's an economic...
In terms of immigration.
In terms of regulation and immigration and stuff like that. I do believe that it's an economic fight. For instance, we know that a lot of the issues that pertains to immigration has to do a lot with the economy, safety and economy. And a lot of the people that are faced with these issues are people that are in the low class sort of lifestyle. You can't find these issues in Sandton. You won't find these issues in cities where, like for instance in Cape Town, because you don't interact with your daily people that are immigrants. You interact with people that are of a certain class, right?
Sure.
It might be people who are wealthy and who are maybe there for business and stuff like that. But the people that interact with immigrants at basic level are people abahlala eJozi downtown and people abahlala eMkhukhwini or Alex and stuff like that, because those are general regular people that who may or may not be here legally, right? Or documented, right? So I think the conversation got steered in the wrong direction in terms of proving citizenship, whereas we needed to discuss why are people angry. People are angry because if someone is not documented or someone is here illegally, there is no way we can trace or track your activities, right? And it only makes sense for us to track your activities because you are in a foreign land. And if I were to go to Nigeria or if I were to go to Zambia or wherever, I probably know that I would need a passport, I would need a visa, I would need all these certain documentation so that my stay there is limited and it's regulated properly. If I then do something, I know they can pick it up from the system. So I think for me, the uproar needs to be directed to the government, but also it's a social and economic issue that we need to target.
Yeah. So there are a lot of threads that you left there. So now the thing is, people took this for us being xenophobic.
Sure.
You know, and they're saying South Africans are xenophobic and whatnot. And we're like, no, guys, we simply are addressing an issue that that has now, manifested itself in a way that, like, we now find people who are not born in South. And again, she was born here, but she what does she claim? Is she Nigerian? Is she Mozambican? Like, again, there's so many gray areas, so many gray areas that I think we have to navigate, especially with her. So again, the other question that I have is, what makes you a South African? Is it first because there's a difference between residency, right, and citizenship. Sure. I think that's the first thing that we have to clear. Yeah. Residency is you lived for X amount of years, and then now after X amount of years you kind of qualify to become a resident, right? And then citizenship is I was born here and I lived here for X amount of time and I am therefore a citizen, right? But now the thing with her is I don't know how old she is.
Sure.
But apparently she was actually born here.
Yeah.
So now the issue is, even though without those documents, right? Because I don't know if I'm not actually.
Yeah, that situation was a bit sketchy.
It was a bit sketchy because apparently she stole someone else's identity for her.
Allegedly, guys, allegedly.
It is alleged that she took someone else's identity, and she's not actually. And then there are also, screenshots of her TikTok bio that she's just claiming Nigeria and Mozambique, but she wants to participate in Miss Miss
South Africa.
Miss South Africa.
Yeah.
You know, so there are a lot of things that were happening there. You know, again, I think we should go back to just having clear lines.
Yeah.
And clear knowledge of what does it mean to be a citizen, and how long before
you can actually acquire
that for you to say, you know what, now I'm a citizen. Is it also, even when you even if your parents are from another country, right? Do you now say, since my parents, for example, not that they are, but let's just say her parents are Nigerian, Mozambican, and whatnot, but she was born here. Is she a South African just by virtue of being born here? What constitutes her being a citizen? You know, or people from foreign countries, people who are immigrants. What constitutes them being, you know, kind of a citizen?
Yeah, and also you mentioned something very important about that being born in a country and what is it that constitutes being a citizen, right? And I can't help but to go back to that analogy of already the people that I hear in South Africa, and like I said, for me it's more of, we don't really care about whether she's Nigerian or not. I think the biggest issue with people in South Africa is that they already limited resources, right? And I'm not saying this to say people don't have a right to share in our resources, but I'm saying there's already a small piece of the pie, right, that South Africans are dying to share and are unable to, right? I mean, we see this in healthcare, in our healthcare system, that there are people that are now assist, which is right, because I mean, obviously you can't not assist people. But in the healthcare industry, we do assist a lot of immigrants, right? And I'm counting everyone, including Chinese and whoever. But now it puts pressure on the system that's already existing, which does not function well, right? So my issue now is a lot of people are preaching, no, but we must be Pan-Africanist. Basically, we must remove borders and have one goal where we as South African we as Africans exist, right? And we need to not see color. We need to not see. But I'm also saying, but these rules don't apply to their countries. Yes, borders were brought in because it's un-African to have restrictions in terms of borders, but they are here. And when you travel outside of South Africa, you see that actually there are rules and regulations in other countries that stop you from doing certain things. If you were to go and travel to Ghana, if you were to go to other countries, you would see that people really take this thing seriously. Some people would even say there are certain areas in which immigrants are not supposed to go, because we are immigrants in other countries. I don't know why we forget. Which must figure go Zambia, wherever we are also immigrants, right? So when it comes to South Africa, that now needs to change. You understand? And yes, Pan-Africanism is good if the direction from all these other countries is the same. The goal is the same. If you're preaching Pan-Africanism, we need to then say, okay, we are done with apartheid. Now maybe the issue is the economic issue. But with a lot of immigrants, we find that there's no common ground. It's like I invite you into my house and then you then come and say, but I want to use the stove. So you don't take time to sit in and say, oh, I'm in your space, and how would you like me to conduct myself? Would you be okay for me to go and water the garden? Would you be okay with me to go in the bathroom and do certain things and make changes, right? So that for me is disrespect. Like, you can't come into my space and then tell me how I should treat you. You are in my space, and I'll give you that allowance to do certain things, but you can't then tell me, no, but why shouldn't I have the same rights as you are? No, it's my space. It's the same thing. I can't go to Ghana, I can't go to Ethiopia and then say, yeah, mina ngumZulu la. That's disrespect. Even in the African culture, that's not allowed.
But I want us to look at why it's so important for us to have to have stringent regulations on immigration. I think people think but for every country that you go to, immigration is such a sensitive thing because it's about preservation.
Sure.
It's about preservation of resources. It's about preservation of culture. It's about preservation of the environment, preservation of so many things.
Sure.
So when you limit access to people, because look at this, right? As you were saying, you made a metaphor of indlu. When I come to visit your house and you don't have rules for me to abide by,
Ngizozenza.
and the masengizenzela, what happens?
There's conflict.
There will be conflict, right? There'll be conflict, and when there's conflict, you know, and now in that I can't I don't want to move because I feel entitled because there are no stringent rules and regulations.
Or there's a gray area in terms of who really belongs here, who has
really
right of use, and who has ownership. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So countries like Qatar, I mean Dubai, those countries have stringent rules, and they have 80% of their population is basically immigrants, right?
Yeah.
But they because of their stringent rules and regulations, they've maintained to preserve everything.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they're limiting everyone who's not from their country. I think as people we forget that it's not about being xenophobic and whatnot. No, it's about preservation of our culture. We just want to preserve what's ours.
Yeah.
You know, and by preserving, we are protecting. You know, we don't understand that. Like I think people just want to say, hi, South Africans are xenophobic. South Africans think they're better because they're a richer country, so other countries. But guys, if the entire African continent wants to come to South Africa, what's there for South Africans? You know, as you were saying,
it's a sharing of resources.
Yes, there's a limitation.
There's already a limitation with the people that are here.
Exactly.
And look, we're not saying people shouldn't share the in the slice of the pie, but I have the right to say, I can't give you this much.
Exactly. And also, let's take care of us first before we can take care of everyone else.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
Man. You can't.
Yeah.
And I think also another thing that you highlighted, which really bugs me, is that it's always the people that are low class that suffers. It's always the people that are, like I said, that interact with immigrants on a daily basis that are at the back foot that we don't consider. Because everyone, even celebrities, they had an opinion about, no, guys, we must be African and whatnot. But they are writing this from their penthouses in Sandton. They are far removed from the actual interaction with immigrants. If you were to go to CBD, stayed a very long time in CBD. Not that we also don't contribute, but for me, it's the safety that's there.
Exactly.
And what causes the safety? It's because there is no documentation. People are undocumented. Even if you are going to hold someone accountable and say you are doing 1, 2, 3 something wrong, but I can't trace you. I can't trace your movement. I can't hold you accountable because you are not on the system, right? A lot of people, even now, but my celebrities, they'll tell you, if we're going to downtown Joburg CBD, we dress a certain way, we do certain things, and stuff like that. And it's always taken on as like humor, as a joke, go unsafe at Joe's and stuff like that. But what causes that? What are the issues that are there that causes that? Half of the population in CBD is probably people that aren't South African, whether documented or undocumented. And there are concerns which come about bringing a lot of people in one space and having no form of regulation, right? You can't walk at night at like 10 p.m. at Joe's because you don't know who will mug you, whether it's our own South African people or not. But I'm highlighting the fact that the people that are having issues with the immigration, they are talking at high level. It's immigrants that they see in boardrooms and stuff like that. It's not abomkhozi nabantu aba-interacta nabo endaweni, yabo?
Yeah.
Also, concerns regarding the resources. What are the limitations when it comes to offering services and protection to someone from another country? Because, like you said, they do use our resources. There are police involved. Bayinokushaya nabantu and then bizwa mapolice. So for us to also extend protection to you, it means we also need to have power over you with regards to how you move, right? Because we can't protect you if we don't know you. So I think that's something that people need to think about. It does not work one-sided. Oh no, but I mean, but you must allow me space, even though you don't know me. It does not make sense.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to go. Okay. I want to go back to the thing that you again. It's a resources thing, right?
Sure.
So if we're able for you to have documentation, we're able to track you.
Yeah.
It's for your safety and for our safety as well, right?
Yeah.
As an immigrant,
Yeah.
right? But more importantly, it's I think for me again, I'm going to go back to the preservation of as South Africans, we have lost a lot of things already, right? So now we are when we start losing certain things, when we've already lost a lot, it manifests in us being angry at people who are taking again. You know, that's why there was so much rage on Twitter about her across all social media.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want. She's not an isolated.
She's like what is it? What is like an addition to something like the catalyst? Is it my physical science does not.
But like, I think she's mostly of a manifestation of underlying
other issues,
underlying issues. So us as South Africans, unfortunately not South Africans, the South African government has to now close borders. I think now it's time for us to build our border, right, and have stringent rules on how people migrate into the country, move, right, and then that way we know who's here and who's doing what. And look, other countries, when you don't abide by their rules, you are deported. So how do we deport you when we don't know where you're from?
Exactly.
You know, there's so many questions, there's so many things, right? Yeah. And I think my problem is that people just want to label South Africans as xenophobic. Yeah. That's my problem. Like
we also need to speak about the drug abuse that is in South Africa and the impact that of it, because these issues aren't isolated in as much as we would like for it to be isolated. There are nuances that you get from the interaction, because I mean a lot of the times we've had issues with a lot of Nigerians who are doing things illegally, and there's there's trafficking and all these other things, and there's drug use and all these other things, and they're not in isolation.
That's a very good point. When we mention those things, right, they want to say, no, not all Nigerians and whatnot. And we're saying, no, these are the things that are actually happening. And what causes that? It's that undocumentation.
Exactly. And and a lot of the people that come to people's defense are people who are speaking from a point of privilege, in a sense that, like I said, it's not people who abashala in CBDs, Jozi, or Washala with these people and interact, and with people immigration. Forgive me, I said these people, you guys don't want to cancel me, but I'm saying we also need to use logic and say kunama Pakistan abenza izinto that aren't healthy for us. They manufacture food that aren't approved by a health institution that approves. I don't know what you call that institution that approves food. Whatever. FDA. But for me, that's very dangerous, because you are saying you must allow people who are here to harm us. Because if you are selling us things that aren't good for us, you are here to attack us, right? And we can speak in isolation of those issues and say, vele, citizenship, xenophobia and whatnot. But what does that bring bring about, because it's such things. They're probably not doing the right things. They're not selling. They're not following our rules and regulations. They're not paying tax. They're not registered. They're not things that afford you the right to be a South African. Because at the end of the day, it's not just documentation and you being here. It's also you following the rules in terms of selling your goods, in terms of offering your services. If you can't abide by the rules, because we are employees and we pay tax and we do certain things, we get certification so that we can practice properly. But if you, when I want to come and bypass the system and then not do the right things, what are we then expected to say? Emo?
But also we should call out Home Affairs, because I saw somewhere that they're selling people's identities, bro.
Yeah. The government needs to fix the system. The system is what's broken. And that's why I'm saying, Guti, the uproar is not directed at Chichi. Chichi did not do anything. Well, yeah.
Her parents did.
You know what I mean?
Her parents.
But I'm saying
it
was because a lot of the times we let issues slide. Also, guys, South Africa is serious. Like, things will just come materialize and then like no one follows up. Like, we'll have like a serious issue such as this, such as migration and citizenship. After 2 weeks, we make that trend, and then we're like, okay, you understand? And it's
so that's also a problem.
That's
also a problem with us. Also, we should also take accountability for
that
and ask all these institutions that are involved. Okay, what's up? How do we now navigate this immigration problem? How do we now navigate this Chi thing that we just experienced? Who should be accountable? But we have such a short attention span. We just want to laugh about it. We do two things. We just want to be angry about it and just laugh about it, and then we're done, and we forget about it. And then in the future, when we come across such situations, the similar cycle happens. So it's us. We
also, why are ministers only active when these issues come about? Because my thing is, ministers are very big on PR. They're very big on social media and saying, this is it, whatnot. But when it actually comes to time to act and time to rectify and do the actual work, because Saga Cheche is one of many that exists. Saga is one of many. I'm sure there are a lot of people who have issues with documentation and citizenship and stuff like that. Issues that aren't in the public platform and issues that aren't publicized. It's just that's why I'm saying this was just a catalyst to other issues that exist that we aren't even aware of, because Home Affairs is the corner that we aren't addressing, because you know why? Our government does not have accountability. There's no transparency.
They're not proactive.
They're not proactive. They don't follow up. They don't do anything until it's in the public eye. And then nakoni social media see a circulator, because that's the only time they can account and say.
So they're not proactive. They're reactive. They only react to issues, and they just want to come in as like the savior.
We've addressed this. We've discovered we are very proactive and stuff like that.
When they really not. I mean, the situation has been going for so long. Only when it has now, has become a big thing, a big issue, then now you want to address it. I think that's their jobs as politicians. I don't think politicians are very intelligent people. They just they're just there, just to hotspot.
Here you are again trying to get us cancelled. Also, on a more lighter note, is pageantry like a sport? Like, I've always wanted to know, is it like a sport? Is it like a... Because I feel like if we're going to have this much energy on this thing, is it like a sport? Is it like an activity? Or is it... What is it? What's the contribution?
Showcasing your beauty.
Yeah, and your brains. But also, which goes back to... If had Chichi won and then went to Miss Universe?
Yeah, Miss Universe, I think.
Was she going to represent, like, is she going to speak for Africans or Nigerians? Because I feel like that's also something we need to touch on to say, had she won and went to Miss Universe, is she going to represent Nigerians or South Africans, or like, is she like a young...
We don't know what she was going to do. I think we should get into part 2, bro.
Yeah, part 2.
Yeah.
It's an happiness is calling. Yeah. Bambelela, bambelela, bambelela. You gotta hold on. Bambelela, bambelela, bambelela. You gotta hold on, yeah. Bambelela.
Welcome, guys, again to part 2 of the podcast. We are going to give we want to touch on citizenship, right?
Yeah.
We're just going to give you like a brief description of what citizenship means and how one can acquire it and how one can lose it, because you can lose citizenship as well. So I'll just read here. It says like, in South Africa, citizenship refers to the legal status of being recognized as a member of the country, which comes with specific rights and duties, which is very important to note. It is governed by the South African Citizenship Act, and you can obtain citizenship by birth. If a person is born in South Africa and born to South African parents, you can get permanent residency or citizenship. You can also get it by descent, which is a person who was born outside can acquire citizenship by application or by descent. So it says parents cannot acquire citizenship by descent. I think that's also a process where you apply and stuff like that. Then it says by naturalization. So it says foreign nationals may apply for citizenship through naturalization if they meet certain residency requirements, demonstrate a commitment to South Africa, and meet other criteria established by law, which I would assume would be the Citizenship Act, South African Citizenship Act. And then you can lose citizenship by renunciation. So basically, which means you can say, I don't want to be a citizen, and then done. There's also automatic loss, which says South African citizenship can be automatically lost if one acquires another nationality voluntarily. Although there are exceptions and conditions related to maintaining dual citizenship, which would be between the other country and your current country. But there are legal processes that one needs to go through for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like in this case, if the proper documentations were given, we would argue dual citizenship.
We would.
If, like, you understand. I think also the situation was a bit sketchy in terms of documentations. So that's why we can't really speak on if she was born here and then it was clear, then we can say, oh, she decided to give credit or give acknowledge the Nigerian part of her, right? We can argue that, but now they're sketchy there by the Home Affairs, so we don't know ithini idea and stuff like that. But anyway, you wanted to touch on citizenship.
So with the citizenship, I think we should be a bit more clearer. Is it birth, descent, and
naturalization. Yeah.
Okay.
I think also we need as South Africans to be informed.
Yeah.
What is the process, and are your books in order, Bafethu? If you know that you want to acquire citizenship, there must be means legally for you to acquire that. So and the status must be clear.
So does the act? What's the act again?
South African Citizenship Act. Yeah.
Okay. So does it entail how many years it takes?
It does.
Yeah. It entails every detail.
Yeah, because it's a very long statute.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I think because our problem again is we don't delve deep into these things. We just she was not born because we don't know any better.
We're not informed.
You know.
I think that's why we had to go through this because we were like, look, for us to give an opinion, it needs to be an informed opinion.
Sure.
And like I said, you can go back to this video and check how one can acquire citizenship. But also, I want to also touch on the rules and regulations of the pageant. Is it the Miss SA?
Yeah.
Because I feel like there should be like a vetting system, guys. But I mean, if you apply...
I think there is. I think there is.
No, but how can this issue get to this point if you know your candidates? I mean, surely... I mean, they do give rules in terms of like you can't enter if you're pregnant, married, and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that is still applicable. But as like an institution, surely this shouldn't have gotten this far.
Yeah, I think it should be stricter. Not that there isn't. I think it should be a bit more stricter. You know.
But why didn't they pick this up, or was it before the being shortlisted? Because I would assume if you're shortlisted, then it means you've met the requirements.
Also, top 10 is like a big deal, you know.
So they should have been vetted properly.
Yeah. But also, it was always going to bring attention because she's top 10.
Sure.
You know, regardless of the vetting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was going to get it. And I think anyone in the top 10, you know, gets that much attention. Who are you? What do you do? You know. So with her, it was our frustrations, you know, it manifested.
Yeah.
We South Africans were frustrated, and then she what do they call it? Is it ama
Chapaza? Yeah,
you know. So Tina, we are mostly frustrated at the system.
Yeah.
You know, and Saikipela, you know, that's why. Yeah.
You were part of the Mr. South Africa at some point.
Yeah, top 20, Mr. South Africa.
You know,
I have such.
I'm gonna make a profile.
I have a profile. Mr. South Africa 2020.
People don't know. You guys, you must do a background check on your host and find out. But what was the process like for you? Did you get qualified because of looks, or was it just what's the short list? Is it looks, or is it how well you express yourself? Or
so Mr. South Africa is tiny compared to
Miss South Africa.
Miss South Africa is a huge deal.
Is it?
There wasn't much of a vetting because there were foreign nationals who were part of, you know, of Mr. South Africa as well.
Is it? Then it means there's no. Are they not the same institution?
No, it's not the same. It's completely different. You know. Yeah. So with us, your modeling agency would sign you up.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Yeah. Or if like you just are a freelancer, you'd sign yourself up. But there were people from other countries. You know.
Oh.
So, but that's because there's no. It's not as stringent as Miss Thingy.
Maybe it's because it's
a smaller
publicity.
It's not the same. It's also it's just a smaller, you know, it's a smaller competition. You know, no one.
What do you win when you win the title? Do you get like a fruit basket?
No, you win a lot of sponsors also as well. There's a lot of sponsorships.
I'm joking, guys.
There's a lot of sponsorships that you get, and on top of that, you get to participate in a international pageant that's similar to Miss Universe.
Oh, is it?
I forget what's that. So yeah. I might go back. 2030, Mr. South Africa.
Go
2030.
back and
Who
report
knows?
live.
Who knows?
Go back and report live.
But yeah,
from the pageant.
it was a different. It was different, and I think this issue will now, help Mr. South Africa have systems and processes to vet out, because we obviously want a South African to win.
Sure.
Because it specifically says Mr. South Africa or
Also,
Mrs. South Africa.
Also, I mean, it's like you said, it's preservation and culture and all these other things, because you're most likely to back someone because they represent the true essence of who you are as a South African.
And even that beauty.
And we're not saying that exclude other, and obviously as a South African, we are multilingual, we're multicultural, and we're also very inclusive. So we're saying I feel like in that platform, you need to be a representation of what South Africa stands for and the culture that it has.
And the beauty.
Sure, and the beauty of
that country.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's good. So, yeah, man, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
We are going to... I'm not sure, do we do street interviews today?
Do people even know Chidimma?
People know Chichi because on Twitter someone said she must bring it home. Makazi is waiting for her by the Lalis to slaughter a goat if she wins that. Apparently she was invited
by Nigeria.
The Nigerian.
But even the Nigerians, they're like, nah, chill.
Guys, asaz it's funani.
Yeah.
Guys, asaz it's funani.
Even the Nigerians were like, nah.
We don't
recognize you.
Yeah. Burna Boy had some stuff to say on.
She was
also, ultimately, the another contestant won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now the Nigerians are, it's a white person who won.
There's so much to... You see what you were talking about? Yeah. There's so much to explore in South Africa insofar as culture and race is concerned, because you can never win. Mm-hmm. It can be... there's so many layers, I think, of things that we need to discuss, because there would be an uproar even if a black lady won. It's white. You doubt?
Yeah, I doubt with white. Did you see how?
But you see
with Zonzi, the reception with Zonzi, it was different. Yeah.
I don't know. It's very complex. It's very complicated because we don't know the standard in which people are we don't know the standard for you to be in the competition, and because if a white person wins and they are South African, you can't say
again online that's your colonizers
won. But we're like,
she's South African.
Okay, so that's it for the day before we get cancelled. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please join the conversation on our social media platforms. We are on Facebook.
And it would be awesome if you subscribed. It would be awesome if you followed us.
On YouTube. It would really be awesome.
On YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok and on Facebook as well.
Yeah, so...
And this week, IG, our IG pages
I can feel
is up and running. So it would be awesome, guys.
Guys, if you subscribe. And look, like I said when we started the podcast, these are conversations that we normally have. That's why we normally say these are semi-mediocre, intelligent conversations, because we feel like anyone can have these conversations. They're not only limited to our own opinion, but anyone who wants to join the movement, they can do that. Please watch out for Generation Great podcast events, because we're gonna do major events. If you're not subscribed, you will miss out. Man, and keep supporting us. Any last words from your side?
Document yourselves.
Yeah. For me, the system, the government needs to regulate the system. Get that shit on lockdown. Make sure that we don't have such issues.
Yeah, but if you're coming to a certain country, it's up to you to say, you know what, I'm from this country. How do I get documentation for me to be able to live comfortably in that country? You know, so it's not just everyone involved should, and also
their responsibility also lies with all
you.
Parties that are involved. You are secured with your documents. We are in charge of checking your documents.
But you know what these guys also do?
Yeah.
I know we're supposed to end this, right? Yeah. But there's a show now. I think I saw it's a bit not too much, but they marry South African women, right? It? And once they've obtained citizenship by marriage, by proxy, and then now they can do whatever. But our South African women now, but
also the intention for me, look, I can advocate for unity and all these other things, but for me, you know what's my problem? Intention is very
my problem
important.
Is they offer them money to marry them, right?
You see,
for 1,000. But
for me, that's the problem already.
So you see, even South African women have to be accountable, because now they're allowing these people from other countries to disrespect us by them preferring them over us. Because you've seen now, there's this thing. Here's Nigerian men by a pageant. South African men would never. You see, it's God. This opens, this opens so many can of worms. You know,
that's a conversation for another day. But also, we should actually discuss like preferences, like social and dating preferences. But we'll do that in the next episode.
But the disrespect from South African women. We're finished, guys. We'll discuss that.
Yo.